On 9% of giants are misclassified. Are they related? The names sound similar, but the lineages diverge drastically. We examine the true family trees of these apex predators. Our protagonist, the magnificent Allosaurus, ruled the Jurassic period. Note the distinctive crests above its eyes, a key identifier. But this predator belongs to the family Allosauridae. Its build favored speed and agility over sheer crushing force. Its teeth were built for slicing flesh from large prey quickly. And now, we shift focus to the later Cretaceous behemoths. The Tyrannosaurids evolved much later, dominating the final age. But this lineage developed immense bone-crushing power in their jaws. But the Tyrannosauridae family is entirely separate from Allosaurus. They sit on different branches of the massive theropoda tree. But the key lies in understanding the hip structure and skull features. Allosaurus possessed a more primitive hip structure, typical of earlier groups. But Tyrannosaurs display advanced features, optimized for massive weight bearing. Even the forelimbs tell a clear story of divergence. The Tyrannosaur reduced its arms to tiny, almost vestigial structures. This shows an evolutionary pathway dedicated entirely to head power. A cranial structure reveals convergent evolution versus true kinship. Tyrannosaurs possess robust, thick skulls built to withstand massive stress. The forces generated by a tyrannosaur bite are orders of magnitude greater. Paleontology relies on mapping these shared and unique characteristics. But bone histology confirms different growth rates and mature densities. But now that we understand the anatomical divergence, let's explore chronology. The temporal separation between these groups is vast, bridging 60 million years. But Allosaurus lived primarily during the late Jurassic epoch. It shared its world with contemporary giant herbivores. Tyrannosaurs emerged and dominated much later in the Cretaceous. This gap of time represents extensive independent evolution. Let's clarify the broader family classification, the relationship between groups. Allosauridae belongs to the inferior Carnosauria, an older clade. But this group includes many large predators from the Jurassic system. Tyrannosauridae, conversely, are highly derived members of the Coelurosauria. But this means tyrannosaurs are structurally closer to modern birds than Allosaurus. Shared traits exist, but the overall architecture is fundamentally different. The foot structure of Allosaurus shows 3 functional, weight-bearing toes. Tyrannosaurs typically possess 4 toes, with one small, raised dew claw. But these subtle differences reflect entirely separate evolutionary pressures. And this realization is crucial for understanding predator ecology. Allosaurus was a generalized apex predator of its specific time. Tyrannosaurs, however, evolved into ultimate bone processors. Their teeth were thicker, more banana-shaped, resisting bending forces. Allosaur teeth are flatter, designed more like steak knives. A convergent evolution creates similar forms, but function dictates placement. The Allosaurus lineage simply faded out before the KPG boundary event. The stage was then set for the Tyrannosaur family's final reign. And the specialized Tyrannosaur structure was the pinnacle of its lineage. Therefore, classifying Allosaurus as a Tyrannosaur is a fundamental error. They represent two separate, successful, yet unrelated predatory experiments. But one lineage belongs to the Allosauroids, the other, the Coelurosaurs. And they share a distant common ancestor deep in the Triassic period. A vertebral column structure further reinforces this taxonomic separation. The understanding these precise classifications honors the complexity of life. The Allosaurus remains a king of its time, but not of the Tyrannosaur dynasty. The Tyrannosaur built its empire through specialized, devastating evolution. They share a basic theropod plan, but little else fundamentally. Evolutionary success isn't about being the biggest, it's about adaptation. The Allosaurus and the Tyrannosaur, separate chapters in the predatory saga. Understanding these distinctions sharpens our view of deep time.